In April of 1999, Eric Harris and Darren Klebold walked into their high school, shot and killed 12 students and a teacher. It is a well-known fact that these young men played violent video games. As a minister, I've watched youth and children grow more aggressive over the last many years, and research shows us that that aggression is contributed to by violent video games. Allowing children to enjoy themselves brings great pleasure to any parent, but when that enjoyment becomes dangerous, a parent must take action. I'll be sharing 3 things with you today. First of all, that video games are more violent than most people realize. Secondly, that video games can promote aggression in children. And thirdly, that violent video games can cause our children to be more accepting of crime and of criminals. So first we'll look at how video games are more violent than most of us realize. This video game you saw is rated MA for mature. Any mature video game can have a scene like this in it, and many times they may be hidden, so if you're not playing the game, you'll never actually know that it's there. The Denver Post cites such violent scenes as shooting police officers, beating a woman to death with a shovel, or setting people on fire who are injured after you've doused them in gasoline. These kinds of aggressive scenes promote aggression in our children. There's an article called "Violent Video Games Harmless to Most Kids." In this article, the author shares with us that the video games really don't have much effect on kids. But this is what he says. If someone is easily upset, depressed, and emotional, they may be more likely to be hostile after playing violent video games. Tell me this, are there any children who at times aren't easily upset, emotional, or depressed? He's just described every child at some point in their lives. This kind of aggression can also make our children more accepting of crime and of criminals. In the article, "Brutality, Who Needs It?", Robert Lipstein says that this kind of video game can cause children to accept this kind of aggression in their life. Now there's a model called the General Aggression Model, the GAM. And what it teaches us is that when we see scenes like we saw just now, we experience fear and anxiety. I know I did. Yet, when we see these kinds of scenes over and over, and they're accompanied by happy music and rewards afterwards, we become accepting of these, and we stop experiencing fear and anxiety. We become desensitized to these things, and, well, we don't even notice that they're there. There's a book written called "Computers in Human Behavior." And in this book, they share a study where they take 2 groups. One group sits off to the side and they don't really do anything. But the other group they bring in and they have them play a video game that is particularly violent. It's about a police officer who's willing to do whatever it takes to catch the criminal, even if it means he commits a crime himself. After playing this video game for just a few hours, they bring both of the groups in together and they present court cases to them that show different acts of brutality and aggression. And what they found is that the group that had played the video game found in favor every time of police officers who had been convicted of brutality. They had become accepting of the criminal and of the crime. Zogby International says that 75% of all parents disapprove of this kind of video game. It's time for parents to take action. They do this by monitoring what their children watch, by staying aware of what's going to be coming out in case their children want something that's not appropriate, and by not becoming lazy in their actions. We know that these games are very violent. We know that they promote aggression. We know that they make our children more acceptable of crime and of criminals. You must protect your child from these things. Philippians 4:8 says it best when it says, "Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think on such things.